This is something that should not surprise people, but for some reason it does. Amazon supports higher corporate taxes in the US, according to Jeff Bezos. People who don't know what's going on might be surprised to hear this. Or they do the socialist thing, right? Like, well, if higher taxes are so bad, why are even the big corporations supporting them, huh? Well, since you can't understand this, let me explain. Amazon can afford much higher taxes. They are so big, they can afford to pay the higher taxes and still put billions in Bezos' pockets. You know who can't afford the constant tax hikes? Small business. Most of Amazon's competitors could very well be put out of business by this. So from Amazon's perspective, they're like, all right, if we have to pay 5% more taxes, but that gets us 20% more customers because our competition went out of business, that's a net win, isn't it? It's all about getting rid of competition. It's the same reason these big corpos always support regulation, too. It's not because of any sense of altruism or they want to save the planet or it's secretly profitable to them. Well, it kind of is, just in a different way. It's about killing competition. If the government forces through a new regulation that costs like $10 million per year to comply with, unless you're so rich you can afford to spend $10 million per year to comply with this regulation, you're not going to even get into this industry. Not only does it put their smaller competitors out of business, it raises the barrier to entry into the whole industry. That's what these big corpos want. It's a way to get a natural monopoly. It amazes me how there's still people out there so stupid they don't understand this. So Amazon Incorporated is in support of a rise in U.S. corporate tax rates, the e-commerce firm's outgoing chief executive officer Jeff Bezos said on Tuesday. We support the Harris administration's focus on making bold investments in American infrastructure, Bezos said. Translation, we support the Harris administration's focus on making us the default monopoly by bankrupting all of our competition. We really want that. So here's on Amazon itself. Here's the letter. Amazon founder and CEO shares a statement in support of investment in American infrastructure. I love how they say that. Do you really think this is going to benefit anything? Like, goddamn, how many more examples are we going to need in history? That there's never been a single country that has taxed itself into prosperity. Never. Not once. There's this thing called the Laffer Curve, which idiots like to pretend doesn't exist. And it's basically the curve that shows where the sweet spot is for taxes. Where at the very beginning, when you got no taxes, you can implement tax and you can get a benefit from it, but eventually you hit the peak. And after that point, the more you raise taxes, the less money you get because people focus on moving their money out of your system because it gets too expensive for them to want to deal with. We're already way past where the Laffer Curve's peak is. And their solution is to keep raising taxes more. Go ahead. Yeah, keep trying to squeeze blood out of that stone. Go ahead, keep doing it. And then meanwhile, the people with the money are moving it overseas. So, which brings another funny point. The Harris administration is trying to bully pretty much every government worldwide into implementing a global minimum corporate tax. Why are they so keen on pushing this? It's because if they do that, that'll limit the places that companies can run to when the U.S. is too inhospitable. So they legitimately believe that, oh, now that the entire rest of the world has a fucking 90% tax rate too, well, I guess we may as well just stay in the U.S. and keep giving them our money. Why not? They don't even consider how many businesses will just shut down. Now, honestly, if I was a business owner and I already had fuck you money, I already had like $10 million plus. I could retire right now and never have to work again. And the government implemented some shit like this, I would just shut my company down, to be honest with you. Well, if you guys are going to make it so expensive and difficult for me to run a company, I'm just not going to run the company then. I'm just going to, sell all the assets, pocket the money, and retire. Like, fine. So because of the government's actions, they just cost, how many people lost their jobs? How many jobs am I not going to be creating anymore? They never even consider that. And as people are pointing out already, good luck getting Russia and China to agree. So the U.S. might be able to bully smaller countries into this, but all that's going to do is make Russia and China more appealing. If the U.S. succeeds in raising some global minimum corporate tax, Russia and China are probably going to go, hey, guys, we don't have a global minimum tax here. Hey, in fact, we've set ours to half of what everyone else did. You tired of paying 30% tax in the U.S.? Hey, come to Mother Russia and you can only pay 15%. And then the West is completely gone. They cannot recover from that. We support the Harris administration's focus on making bold investments in America's infrastructure. Yeah, we know they only support their competition being put out of business. Both the Dems and the Republicans have supported infrastructure in the past, and it's the right time to work together to make this happen. So instead of jacking up the taxes and putting small businesses out of business, how about cutting some bloat? We recognize this investment will require concessions from all sides, both on specifics of what's included as well as how it gets paid for. We're supportive of a rise of the corporate tax rate. Yeah, because it'll kill your competition. We look forward to Congress and the administration coming together to find the right balanced solution that maintains or enhances U.S. competitiveness, while every single decision they make actively hurts the U.S.'s competitiveness. Go ahead and do this, and you will. So all the work that Orange Man did, bringing businesses, bringing corpos back to the U.S., is now going to be undone. Now they're just going to leave and go straight back to China. In fact, I'm sure a lot of these companies are kind of mad that they wasted all this time and money relocating, and now they're just going to have to go back where they came from. I bet they're never going to make that mistake again. Shit, I bet this will just make it even harder for any future presidents who may actually know what they're doing to get people back. I know damn well if I was a business owner and I was, like, say, in Mexico, and I was convinced to bring my business back to the U.S., and then right as soon as I finish relocating, then another president comes in and says, "Oh, we're gonna double your tax rate now." Yeah, fuck off with that shit. I'm going to leave again, and this time I'm never going to come back. Even if we had another competent president, unless I have some guarantee that the next president isn't going to fuck this up, I'm not going to move. Like, you would literally have to bribe me to come back to the U.S. at that point. All right, if you give me $1 trillion, I'd be willing to risk it. But what do I know? I'm just a small business owner. Oh man, I am so excited to tell you guys right now that finally, after about a year of build-up and shilling, we have launched Blade Devil on Indiegogo, and so far it is doing so well thanks to awesome people like you. If you haven't backed it yet, then please check the links in the description and check out Blade Devil on Indiegogo. You will not be disappointed. Looking forward to seeing you there.